Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Chakra Healing for a Vibrant Energy, exploring your 7 energy centers with mindfulness, yoga, and Ayurveda. And if you haven't yet picked up your copy, it's available in paperback. It's at Barnes & Noble, it's at Amazon, in Kindle, paperback, and Audible audiobooks, which you get to hear my voice, my beautiful voice. And I just say that because my voice is something that I've actually worked on over the years. So having a voice, finding a voice, being a voice, I love it. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that really pushes buttons for divine feminine twin flames. That topic is the karmic. I'm going to say it again. The karmic. So a lot of times we are under the impression that the karmic is another romantic partner. And oftentimes the karmic is another romantic partner. Now see what I'm wearing today? I'm wearing my love shirt, and that's to remind us to stay in a space of love when dealing with the karmic. I had an instance this week that derailed me completely, and I didn't believe that it was derailing me. Now, in my instance, to my knowledge, of course, I have contact with my divine masculine. It hasn't been as personal as it was in the beginning. That's about as much as I'm going to tell you. However, I don't think he's in a relationship with a karmic or a soulmate. But there was an instance that happened where I saw another woman like hanging all over him, and that totally derailed me. That totally derailed me. And as I was going through this experience, I felt like horrible, but it also made me stop and think, like, why was I reacting that way exactly? And how could I transcend the reaction of that as well, if that makes sense? So a lot of times when there is a karmic situation, it can be really easy to get caught up in those codependent behavioral patterns. And those codependent behavioral patterns include like jealousy, anger, frustration, pouty behavior, storming off, the fight flight. So it can engender in us a lot of really strong emotions. And one of the reasons is habit, meaning that in the past, if we see our boyfriend, girlfriend, or, whatever, even estranged lover with another person, we automatically have those feelings. So we have the feelings of like jealousy and anger and self-doubt, and I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, or that jerk, they did this, they did that, why are they with this person, and all that. So that's a lot of codependent behavior. The second thing is because the feelings for the divine twin flame, either divine masculine or feminine, are so incredibly strong, because these feelings are like magnified by like 100, is that when you see them with another person, if they are the karmic, or even if they're not, like, you have such strong feelings for them that you're just like, wait, whoa, what? This doesn't even calculate. Like, what is happening? Why is this other person with them? They're not supposed to be with them. That doesn't make sense. That's not part of their story. Well, truth be told, if there is a karmic that is a lover or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a husband or wife, that person is actually a part of their story. Now, it's not a permanent part of their story, but that person is actually a part of their story. That person is a part of their story because there's something that they need to learn in that relationship, even if that relationship lasts for a day, even if that relationship lasts for an hour, even if that relationship lasts for 6 months, like, there is something that your divine masculine needs to learn from that karmic situation or that soulmate situation. And so that person is put into their lives in order for them to learn that lesson. In my case, with this particular scenario, it was kind of interesting as I stood back and analyzed it the next day, because that day I was not able to analyze it. I was just like, what's happening? Like, I'm going crazy. Like, I had all these feelings, and I was just like, this is nuts, so crazy. But it was interesting because while I do not think that my divine masculine was even remotely attracted to this woman who was hanging all over him, I felt that happened for a specific reason, because it was something later on that brought to light this particular person's personality, like brought it to like shining light, like smack in his face. And I believe, now time will tell, I don't know, but I believe that night happened, and that those interactions happened, and that revealing of that person's personality happened to like smack him in the face, to make him see what kind of behavior he does not like and he does not tolerate in a person. So it was helpful for me to like realize that afterward, because I had been trying to explain like, this person's not a good person, and my divine masculine is such a good person, that he was like, no, you don't need to worry about that, or like, that person's fine. And so it was kind of like, hello, listen to your divine feminine from time to time. Like, I am looking out for your best interest, and I love you, and I care about you, and I want you to see the light, and here's the light. And they're like, no, the light's not here. Let me go look around. And they're trying to find the light, and then they look, and they're like, whoa, there's a lot of darkness over there. So, and then they're like turning back to you, and they're seeing this like halo and this light, and they're like, oh, that's where the light is. So I really believe that happened for that reason. And like, so when you have a karmic situation with your divine masculine, and you know, like, they're sleeping with another person, or they're married to this other person, or they're still in this relationship with another person, they haven't broken it off, like, just know that if they were to come to you now, there would still be lessons that they would need to learn, and it's likely that it wouldn't last if they came to you now. So it's actually a good thing that they're finishing up with these karmic situations, because you don't want them coming to you with that, because it's that baggage. So it's really, really important that you keep that in perspective. And I know it's super hard. Like, I will tell you, if I had to redo that entire evening, I wouldn't want to redo it. I just wouldn't. I would be like, hello, goodbye. I am going to go watch Netflix movies. Like, done, see ya. I don't want to relive this ever again. Like, it was that bad. I just did not want to relive that. So, but I had to. There was a reason why I had to be there. There was a reason why I had to live through that. There was a reason that I had to see that. Like, there was a reason for all of it. And I had to get myself out of the headspace of like, oh my God, this sucks. It's awful. Like, this is the worst thing ever. I had to look at it from like a movie perspective. You know, if I was watching a movie, which it was very scenic, like a movie, like honestly, that could have easily, I was like talking to my son Matthew about this, and I was just like, he was like, man, it's like you're in the movie Mean Girls or something. Like, it could have easily been out of a teen flick or like a romance comedy or something. It wasn't very comical. Anyway, so there is that. And the other thing that you need to think about for yourself is that, are you also in karmic situations that involve masculine or feminine? Like, are you involved in a karmic situation? Now we're starting this with lovers and like husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, but are you in a relationship? Are you holding on to some guy or girl? Like, are you holding on to someone that you shouldn't be holding on to? In the video on unconditional love and in the video on commitment, I spoke to you guys, and if you haven't watched those videos, go back and watch those videos. I spoke to you guys about commitment and about unconditional love. If you are serious about this relationship, if you are serious about this twin flame connection, which you should be, because it's not for you, it's for the betterment of the whole planet. It's God's will. It's God's divine will for you. So if you are serious about this, then you need to be serious too about letting go of your karmic situation. So if there's that guy that whose number you still have on speed dial or whatever, like you have him at the top of your favorites list because that's the guy that you call when things get tough, like, you need to hit delete and block that guy. Like, you need to tell all your male friends who are super flirty with you, like, it's done, it's over, I'm done. I need to refocus and focus my commitment on my guy. You don't even have to explain who it is. You just say, like, I'm with a new guy and this is the guy I want and this is the one I want to be with and I don't want any distractions. Like, that's all you need to say. You don't need to justify it with anything. So look at yourself seriously, because if you're pointing the finger at your twin flame divine masculine and you're like, hey, you know, he's doing so-and-so and he's flirting with so-and-so and like Susie's got his number on her favorites list and like he's always texting Susie every time I see him. It's like, no, you need to look at yourself too and just know that the lessons that he needs to get through to get rid of Susie, like, he's going to have to go through it anyway to get rid of her. That is the first aspect of the karmic. And just to let you guys know, to keep you guys at peace, is that those karmic situations are ending at rapid speeds. So the messages that I got this morning were that the divine masculine is coming towards you with great urgency. Like, it's almost like an emergency. Just think of, like, if you're into tarot, just think of the Prince of Fire or the Prince of Wands. So the Prince of Fire or the Prince of Wands is someone who's like riding on a horse very fast with that fire energy, but trying to like put out fires, if you will, trying to go put out fires. And your divine masculine is actually coming towards you with that Prince of Fire energy. Your divine masculine is actually coming towards you with that urgency, that sense of urgency. In the last video, we talked about opening up the throat chakra. We're going to do a video on the solar plexus chakra. So once he has realized and he's able to open up that throat chakra through the solar plexus and the heart, he's going to come to you with great urgency. And it's almost like this, and it's not like a desperate energy either. It's not like this, oh my God, I'm going to lose her. This is it. Like, this is my final straw. It's not that. It's a sense of urgency of duty, like divine duty. Like, he knows what he has to do. So since he knows what he has to do, he's going to like come rushing toward you because he knows. So another situation with karmic, the karmic, can be a mother. And we talked about this in one of the videos, and another reader who I really resonated with was saying that for a lot of divine masculines, it's this codependent mother who doesn't want to let go of her son. And I really feel the energetic link between my divine masculine and his own mother. And I feel like that is a piece of this puzzle between us, meaning like the mother feels that there is no one that is quite good enough for her son, that this is the favorite son, this is the good son, this is the one she really adores, this is the son she loves, and she doesn't want to give him up. He may be in a situation where he's never been married or he hasn't had a lot of long-term relationships, and in a way, the mother has tended to sabotage these long-term relationships. And remember, guys, I'm channeling, right? I said that there were some similarities for me in my divine masculine and his own mother. And it's just because I intuit that, like I'm feeling that. It's not nothing I know for certain, but I'm channeling this information that this mother figure in your divine masculine's life, and this may go for a large majority of you, doesn't want to let her son go. And because she doesn't want to let her son go, it's been really hard for him to stay in long-term relationships because he wants to please her because he's in this codependent relationship with her, and he really does truly love her. Like he cares for his mom. He really truly does love her. But her patterns of loving are very unhealthy and needy. And since her patterns of loving are very needy and codependent, she is keeping him from his true destiny because he doesn't have the heart to say to her, enough is enough, like it's done. Like I need to go on my own now and I need to go find my lady. Like I need to go find my wife. So that is another karmic situation. Another karmic situation is addictions to, I'm going to list a bunch of things. So addictions to work, addictions to media, like watching too much TV, addictions to video games, addictions to porn, addictions to dating, like kind of like a serial dater, addictions to alcohol and drugs, addictions to food, or a combination thereof. So that is a karmic situation too. So I'm seeing a lot of divine masculines have been actually immersing themselves in work and trying to achieve a certain level of achievement. And I'm seeing that they're trying to climb the corporate ladder and get better pay, better positions. And so because they're hurting so much in their hearts because of past relationships that haven't quite worked out, that they are moving toward their job as a replacement for a relationship. So they're kind of absorbing themselves into their work, into their jobs, and they're not listening to their heart, even though it's starting now. Like, they're starting to tune in and listen to their hearts. But up until now, the karmic situation has been, I need to move up the corporate ladder so that I'm worthy to actually get married and have a family and create a family and buy a house. And so they're working themselves literally to death, like literally to death. So they're not eating right, they're not sleeping well, they're overworking, working too many hours, they're not having fun, they're not going out to play and having playful times, they're ignoring their body's signals, like all of the above. So that's their karmic situation. And then there are others who, like a lot of the planet, are addicted to alcohol and drugs, and that's a whole other ball game, you guys. Like that one, as they come through their spiritual awakening, there's going to be a lot of healing there. And if you're unfamiliar with the healing process of alcoholism and drug abuse, I would say I have a ton of videos. I have like 42 or 44 videos alone just on alcoholism, addiction, recovery. I wrote a book on it. If you have a loved one or if your twin flame is actually an alcoholic or a drug addict, it's called Help. I think my loved one is an alcoholic. You can check it out on Amazon. It's on all three formats as well. But another twin flame channel called Twin Flame Revolution. It's a lesbian couple, and Nicole is the divine masculine, and she is a recovering drug addict. She has a lot of perspective on that journey into healing. And then the other addictions that I mentioned, like addiction to computers, addiction to porn, addiction to video gaming, addiction to TV or Netflix or videos, that's just an escapism, you guys. Like that seriously is an escapism. It's an escapism because they don't want to pay attention to what's going on in their heart. And all of those things are karmic situations that need to be healed. Try not to be afraid of the karmic situations. Try to look at them from a movie perspective, I guess. Like you're watching a movie and you're trying to like analyze a situation from almost like a character perspective and say like the character in the movie is doing this, so I can see this happening. But no one will ever change unless if they truly want to change. And I know this from experience. So if you're trying to make your divine masculine like break up with his girlfriend or stop dating so many women or break up with his mother, so to speak, or tell his mom to go take a hike, none of that is going to work. Because remember in another video on divine masculine, like I explained that in this series of dynamic between the divine masculine and divine feminine, that the divine masculine has to find his personal power. He has to find his personal power first. And once he steps into his personal power and finds his personal power and can stand in his manhood, his divine masculinity, then he can find it in his heart space to communicate truth through his throat chakra. So it's not going to happen because you're pushing, because you're nagging, because you're telling him stories, because you're giving him articles on the unhealthfulness of drinking or attachments to his mother. I mean, none of that's going to do it. He has to figure this out for himself. But just know that the karmic situations are there to teach everybody a lesson. And that once the lesson is learned, poof, like a puff of smoke, that karmic situation will disappear. So for me personally, I envisioned this karmic situation that I found myself in the other night. I imagined it literally like going poof in a cloud of black smoke, kind of like just obliterated, incinerated in this poof cloud of smoke, like gone. Like I don't need that to repeat anymore. Like I don't need that karmic situation I don't need to see that anymore. I don't need that to repeat. And I'm pretty darn sure my divine masculine doesn't need that situation anymore either. Just look at it as that and try to look at it more from a 5D perspective and keep that space of love for your divine masculine and try not to get caught up in his karmic situations. And then finally, take a look at your own karmic situations. Are you addicted to food? Are you addicted to video gaming? Are you addicted to male friends, as just an example, male friends who might be too flirtatious with you and you kind of like to string them along so you don't feel so lonely? So are you in those patterns of karma that need to be just the lesson learned and then you need to move on? Like, are you in that space as well? So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click the bell to get notifications of my future videos. Please share this video with other twin flames. And thank you for pledging your support on Patreon, buying some books, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondant. And I will see you in the next video.